Welcome to the Juice Radio Talk Show. 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 Reality TV, church reviews. Let's talk happy love and marriage lifestyle. Come and talk with us. Come and share with us. Come and laugh with us. Come on and pray with us.
Regina and Clovis, special guests. You should be following your lead. Bless. Subscribe on YouTube. Listen on podcasts. We live on IG and Facebook. This episode is sponsored by Truth and Triumph Ministries.
A heartfelt thank you to all of our subscribers who joined us for this video. If you have not already subscribed, go to our YouTube channel, The Juice Radio and Talk Show. Subscribe and click on the notification bell to be alerted whenever we go live. Join our private Juice community. Go to www.thejuicecommunity.com and sign up for free. Join us, The Juice Radio and Talk Show. We have our Money Monday financial series. It is a lunch and learn program at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time on Mondays. Also on Monday, we have our reality series and hot topics at 7 p.m. Wednesdays, we have Bible study at 7:30 p.m. Thursdays, we have church news at 7:30 p.m. We also offer motivational moments, happy marriage lifestyle, news from a godly perspective, movie reviews, as well as our single moms club, Let's Talk Ex-Millennials, and of course, our Cooking with Clovis. Follow us on our podcast channel, The Juice Radio and Talk Show Podcast, streaming on all podcast platforms. A great big thank you to our podcast production company, Noye Podcast Productions. They can help you create your own podcast also. Contact them today at houseofnoye.com. Thank you to our sponsor, Custom Apparel Shop. Have them complete your embroidery work and silk screening needs. Do you need a logo created for your fashion apparel or company? Contact Israel Mason today. That is 786-657-7501. Thank you to our main sponsor, Truth and Triumph Ministries. Truth and Triumph Ministries, a ministry that cares about telling people the truth so they can triumph in life. Thank you, Truth and Triumph Ministries, for all you do.
Well, hello, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. Hey, Pastor Grant.
Oh, good afternoon. God bless you.
Well, thank you for being here. Hey, everybody. It is Monday, Money Monday, and it's time to grab your lunch and come on over here and learn with Pastor Grant. She's going to give us a lot of her financial wisdom out here. Listen, we just finished up our credit series. If you did not see any of those videos, go on over there to our YouTube channel, The Juice Radio and Talk Show, and check out those videos. We gave you a wealth of information on credit, good credit, bad credit, how to get your credit restored. All the information is there. Check them out. There are several videos on that. This week, we are starting our new series, and this is talking to all of our business entrepreneurs. Come on now, new business entrepreneurs, current business entrepreneurs, and listen, those of you who are already in business, you still can learn some tips here on the Juice Radio and Talk Show about business ideas. Listen, we're starting this new series this week, and we're going to have, I believe it's 7 parts of this series. We are talking about businesses. Let's start with episode number 1, we're going to call it. And this is great tips and advice on advantages of owning your own business. A lot of people need to be aware. Why should you own your own business? Is it obtainable? Yes, but let's start at the very beginning. Let's get people hyped and excited about why they should create a new business. Pastor Grant's joining us today. Let's have the conversation. Pastor Grant, how are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful. I'm so glad to be back with you. I know we've had some holidays and I had some travel and I have missed being on Money Monday. So I am just excited to be back with everyone, our co-hosts, just to continue our sharing and dialogue about how we can enable ourselves financially to be healthy this year, right? And we want to, of course, we've talked about how do we save, how do we manage our own personal money, but don't you know there is such a richness in owning your own business. And I know there are plenty of you that God has put an idea in your heart, in your mind, and you know that it is purpose for you. And so we want to encourage you and strengthen you in that area because Regina and myself both are entrepreneurs. We're both business owners, and we both lead in that space. So lots of information and experience to share with you today as we go into this new series about being an entrepreneur and owning your own business.
That's right. That's right.
That who are also interested, like and share the broadcast, make sure that they're aware and that we're sharing this information.
That's right, you guys. Come on now. We want you all to have that business entrepreneurship. Listen, everybody should own a little piece of some sort of business, a little something at least, you know? And we're not only going to tell you about great things about establishing a business, what you need to know, the importances, the legal ramifications of some areas. We're not lawyers, but we're going to give you some things that we have found in the legal realm of it, what you need to know, corporations and so forth. But we're also going to tell you some things that try and help prevent you from some of the pitfalls that we ourselves got ourselves into. Okay. We're going to try, you know, we want to protect
this
you.
Is honest and transparent, right? Dialogue.
That part. So remember to click that subscribe button if you haven't already done so on our YouTube channel, The Juice Radio and Talk Show. Share the channel like Aaron is telling you in the chats to do. And also click the notification bell. This week we'll be uploading all of the series. So you may not see them on there right now, but they're going to be on there this week. So you can click all the notifications bell so that you can be notified. I want to say hello to all of you that are in the chats. Thank you, Aaron, for being here, helping us out here in the chat. She's reminding you of all the programs that we have. And she's also reminding you guys to hit that subscribe button, like and share. Hello, Reality with Krista Marie. Thank you so very much for being here as well. Appreciate y'all being here. You know, Pastor Grant, let's go ahead and get started with the people to tell them this great information. Why do you think it's so important for people? And what are the advantages of people owning their own businesses?
Most definitely. I know most of us, one of the first inclination is I want to be my own boss, right? I want to manage my own time. I want to have the influence to be able to structure my future and my current status, right? The opportunity in most instances, just to be able to be the voice of change, right? The buck stops with you when you're the owner. And you start out being that man, and that most people, one of them definitely, there is the owner. And there are times when you can manage the day and structure it where it works well for you. But you also have to remember when you are a business owner, you're led by the demands of your client. And so when they need you and need your resource and they need what you are doing to support them because you're in business, right? Then in flexibility there.
Yes.
You can now navigate your schedule. You can now and you can manage what that time frame looks like in many aspects. But again, when you're in business, you're meeting a need. And so you have to meet the needs of the client. And so flexibility is there, but to a degree, right? And so just want to be clear about that because some people say, I want to be my own boss. Yes, you will be your own boss, but others will manage that in many ways. They'll influence your management of being your own boss, right? They'll influence what is when you're selling, we'll talk about this later, say you want to go into retail and you're selling articles, they will tell you what's selling. And so while you might think one is the hot thing, and that's what I really like, your purchasing and your numbers will tell you whether that is the hot deal. And if that's not it, then you have to pivot. So telling your customer flexibility.
And I apologize, Pastor Grant's video is going in and out. It looks like you don't have a strong connection, but we are still hearing you. But your video is going in and out. So if there's any difficulty hearing her, we apologize for that in advance. Pastor Grant, if you could maybe try to log out and come back in, and we'll see if that works to straighten out that error.
Okay, I'll do that right quick.
So much. And while she's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and continue to greet all of you who are here joining us. Thank you all so very much for being here. We want to go ahead and say hello to Joseph. Joseph is in the chat. He says, hey, Aaron D, in the place to be. Bet you this time. Oh, he beat you this time. Did you really? I don't know. All right. Thank you so much, Aaron. Thank you so much for greeting everybody over there. I appreciate it. Now, you guys, this is very important information. As I flash your comments on the screen, I want to have this conversation with you all. I want everyone to understand that becoming a business owner should not be a scary thing. Although in some situations it is. However, I don't want you to allow fear to stop you from progress. Okay. Now think of it this way. There are a lot of businesses that are out here, a lot of well-established businesses. Okay. Now think, they all had to go through the same process, I believe, that a lot of us have to go through. That's first creating and thinking they can do it. Now you can do it also. And we want you to have the mentality to know that you can get this process going. One of the first things you're going to need to do is you're going to think of it as you are an owner and you can own a corporation. And before you decide what type of corporation you want to own, I want you to also understand that whatever you choose to do as a business should be something that you enjoy, that you have a heart and passion for. Okay. I love to think of the Home Depot. That's great, Pastor Grant. I love to think of the Home Depot owners. When you read the story about the Home Depot owners, they went through so much. But one of the passions that they had was they wanted to make sure that people can get all these types of tools and things in one location. So that's part of why they created this whole establishment and business of Home Depot. They love the idea of having all these tools there for people to be able to purchase these things in one place. So that was their passion. And did they go through a lot? If you read the story, yes, they did. They went through a lot, but they did not give up on their passion and their dream of doing it. First of all, you have to have a thought in your mind. What is it that I would like to do? And then there's this other thing. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Don't be afraid of this part. Don't be afraid and say, well, there's so many other businesses that are doing the same thing. Why would anybody pay attention to mine? Come on now. You and your uniqueness will drive people to your business. Don't give up because so many others are doing the same thing. You know how many hamburger joints we have out here? How many tools?
And they're so cute. Listen, you don't need everybody. You just need the people intended for you. That's right. It. There are thousands of people who are available potential clients for your business, and everybody has an idea of what works best for them. And so you might be the very one, and in many instances, you don't need everybody. You just need a certain segmentation in order to meet your numbers and to meet your goals. And so there's room for others, especially if you have something unique, right? There, as you mentioned, there are a lot of burger joints, but every burger don't taste the same.
You better tell them that part. You better don't let fear come in there and stop you because you see all these other burger places out here.
Yeah. And because you are providing something that, gives them the edge. You can give yourself an edge by differentiating what you do in some small particular manner. And so it makes a difference. And so I know places personally that are a long way away from me, but I drive to get it because they have what I'm looking for. Whether that is a particular meal or a particular style of dressing, and there are particular places I like to go and look because of what they carry. And so when you have your own uniqueness, your own creativity, like the scripture say, your gift make room for you. And so you don't have to measure yourself against anyone else. What is this saying? You cannot compete where you can't compare. They can't compare to you.
Now, and have that thought. And you guys click that thumbs up button on both of these channels, on all these channels out here, Facebook and YouTube. Thank you so much, Aaron. Click those thumbs up buttons out there, you guys. Let's share the information. Now, let's talk about, again, some of the advantages of owning your own business. For one, you're the boss. That's one. You're the boss. You're the boss. You get to have your dream fulfilled. And you get to allow others to join you on that dream.
Yes.
They're your employees, your staff, but they get to join you on this dream that you have. So one of the main things that I love about the businesses that my husband and I own are, first of all, we own them. I can't get fired.
That's right. We can take a break, but we don't fire ourselves.
Right. We don't fire ourselves, I love that. That's one of my main ones that I love. The other thing I love about it is I get to set the pace as far as how my workflow is.
Yes.
I don't get the stress. A lot of people, when they think they start a business, it's going to be a headache and so much stuff is going to be added onto their plate. But you get to really direct your time and planning and all that.
Yeah, that's good, because we were talking about the flexibility, and sometimes you can grow too fast. That's why you have to pace yourself, right? And make sure, because there's some people who are ready to thrust out, and they've done the due diligence, they've done the planning, they have the staffing ready, because it's something to put a big flyer out and say, hey, we open up in our restaurant. That's why a lot of people got into the place of doing soft lunches, right? A soft lunch with a small number of people. Why? So we can work out all our kinks. We can navigate the newness of it, right? New people, new equipment, new facility. There's a lot of newness that you're not aware of when you're doing something for the first time. And so we've learned, right, by memory muscle, that it's best to start off a little slow and then ramp up, because then we got a rhythm, right? The team starts to form. And so what are the 4 phases of a team? What is it? Forming, storming, norming, and then performing. Performing is last. You got to get through all those stages with your team so that you guys are doing well and you're getting some good results. So that flexibility is so key, that you can do that. You can pace yourself. Myself, like Regina, we have several businesses going, and all of them we didn't just thrust into them. We really even had to, I know for myself, had to pace myself when I started them, right? Because I got to get one further enough along so that it's operating on its own. It doesn't need me. It doesn't require me. It has the right staffing. It has the right support. It has the right oversight. And so then I can start on the next item, right? And that's the difference too between being self-employed and being an entrepreneur. Self-employed is you doing all the work, right? But when you're an entrepreneur, you have others who execute your vision and can carry that vision forward and the mission forward, and then you can do other things as well, right? So that flexibility just depends on the measure to which you want to operate. Are you hands-on? Are you a daily person?
Yeah.
Right? You're thinking about franchise. There's some franchises that say you must be there, right? When you start, they are looking for you as the owner, because whatever you put your hands to, whatever you focus on, you give it strength. And so they're looking for you as the owner, not to just put money in. You got to put your hands to the plow. They want you to work it. I think like Waffle House and Chick-fil-A and some of those other ones, they look for you as the franchisee to be there, to be on site, to be aware, to support that, to get it going, right? And then over time, of course, you can trail and there's a comfortability there. But in many cases, they're looking for you. And so that's the difference. Your flexibility, yes, does exist. And then you just have to pace yourself. So I certainly agree with that. You determine how fast you want to grow.
That's right. And
enable yourself.
Like Joseph said in the chat, he says, nobody is above learning. I don't care how much you know. Let's learn together, everyone. And he also said this beautiful comment here. He says, don't let fear stop you from progress. And we have to understand that it will be a scary time at times, but get over that fear. Don't let that fear hold you back. I put these comments down here. I put, first of all, if you're thinking about owning a business, or you having a thought of, I would like to become a business owner, so forth, I want you to do this. This is your homework. We're going to give you homework today, okay? But it's going to be fun. I want you to do this. I want you to go out sometime this week and observe a business that you would like to kind of do. Go to that establishment and observe. When you go there, take a look around. You could be someone who wants to be a beautician. I want you to go to a beauty parlor, a beauty establishment. Take a look around. You may want to sell here. Go to a store. Take a look around. But instead of taking a look as a consumer, I want you to take a look as a business owner. I want you to get a visual of what is taking place. Look at how the employees are interacting. Look at how the customers are interacting. Look at the products. Look how everything's set up. I want you to observe situations. And if there's some conversations going on with customers and employees and staff, I want you to observe that too. Because listen, conflict happens in businesses as well.
Oh my goodness, most definitely. And I love that, because I think a dream, right? A vision, you have a vision, you have a desire, but unless you plan it out, it's just a dream. It is just something that is out in the atmosphere until you put a plan down and you start the action on it. And I totally agree with having a visual, going and having mentors. Every business I've started, I've talked to people who already do it. I wanted to gain their lessons learned. I wanted to get their clarity, their understanding. I wanted to make sure that I went in with a clear understanding of some of the things I might have to face, so that I can prepare my mind. I can prepare my spirit so that you recognize there are times when it may not work as the first time you planned it, but that doesn't mean it wasn't the right idea for you. It means you pivot. It means you pivot. It means you make another plan B. You alternate. You come to an understanding that you have to make some adjustments. Oh my goodness. Sometimes business is adjusting as you go. It's iterative, right? The next evolution of what the business is. And in many aspects, you're just starting out. So the best thing I say is once you have that idea, what we mentioned is to write it down. So that's the advantage. Before you get started, you have the opportunity of learning from others' mistakes. You have the opportunity of getting that knowledge in advance instead of, so you don't have to hit every roadblock that they did or every road bump that they did. Now you have the benefit of lessons learned from others. That's right.
And it's great to be able to go out and observe, take a look at everything. And I'm a firm believer in asking questions, talking. I would go into a restaurant, and if it's something that I feel, hey, I want to ask a question or I want to talk to them, I'll ask, is the owner here today?
Yes.
You know, can I speak with the owner today? And you may be a new person who's starting out. You just have some questions. Ask if you can speak to the owner, especially a lot of the mom and pop shops. Talk to them. And a lot of them are very, very happy to share information with you. They're very happy to do that. They have the time to do it, and they're looking to do that. And don't be afraid to have conversations with them. Also, I put down here, look at the crowds, talk to some of the people in the store. You know, what do you think of this product? What do you think about this product? Because they may say, well, I like this product, but I wish they had it in this fragrance, or I wish they had it in that fragrance. I wish they had it in that. Ding, 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 ding. You have some ideas. Okay, this store, they're selling some bath stuff, but they don't have this flavor, this fragrance. Maybe I can come up with that. Or you over here at this burger place. Well, I like the burger place, but I wish they had softer buns.
Right. And don't despise your small beginnings, right? It might be, a few items that God has placed on your heart. And then as you get started in your business, it starts to grow. You start to mature. Mature. And then you mature the business. You start to grow. You start to get more clarity. You start to get your legs stronger, right? When you start off, it can be a little challenging and looking at the opportunities ahead, but also look at the win, right? There's a huge payback. There's a huge win in it. And so one of those benefits and advantages to owning your own business is the financial rewards. So in some instances, what you make working for someone else, you can double, triple, or any number of multiplication when you're in the right business for yourself. And so you cut out the middleman, and all of that comes to you. When we look at the industry today and we look out at the field today, really blue collar working is coming back. I know technology is huge. I work in technology. I have been for many years, and not that it will go away, but there's some skilled labor that only a human can do.
Yes.
We all know that we're going to the part of automation and robotics, and we're looking at how do we do things faster. And we do that through technology, but there's some things you have to do with your hands. And these are a lot of businesses that we could have our young people and as well as middle-aged, older people go into, where it is your business. You're not working for somebody else. It could be plumbing. It could be electricians. It could be HVAC. It could be transportation is huge now. Trying to get people from one place to another. There are a lot of business ideas that require a human. And
delivery services.
The human services, that resource services that only an individual can do. A technology only execution will not service that, right? And so we talked about restaurant, that you always need people. We talked about hair care, and you always need people. Manicure, spas, you always need people. And so along with some of these other services that has the human touch. And so the Lord is leading you in that. We talked about retail. Some people make specialty items. Those are things that are human in their creativity, creating and selling.
Yes.
And so know this, your gift will make room for you. And so that advantage of being a owner of a business is that you now have an opportunity for more of a financial reward. You cut out the middleman, and now it all comes to you. I see the question in the chat from Aaron about when you're starting out, what quality do you look for in your team? I'll say for me, I look to fill the gap. I look for people to do what I am not as strong in, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to fill your team with a lot of people who are just like you.
No.
And it depends also in what you're going into. So It depends if this is a new startup and you need people who cook, right? You
Mm-hmm.
build a restaurant, you need good cooks, you need people with good personality who are serving. So it depends on the dynamics of what roles you're trying to fill. You need people from an administration perspective, people who help you in the back office, manage the numbers, manage your resource and managing your budget, managing your ordering system. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
we went to a place the other day and they didn't even have chicken. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's what you do. And they were like, well, we had it mixed up with the ordering system and we're all out. So just having people who are on task with those kind of things, you look for people who are analytical thinking, right? And who can think without a lot of due diligence, without a lot of instruction. And especially if you're doing a service where you are talking to people, where you're serving people, I always recommend people who have a good spirit to work with others and who can handle pressure. Oh my goodness. I think that is so important. People who can remain calm when others are not, right?
Yes.
Who knows how to defuse situations. And again, it depends on the nature of your business. So I would say do a strength and weakness analysis for every role you need. And then also you as the owner evaluate what are your strengths and weaknesses and make sure you fill some of those positions with people who can fill in your weaknesses. There's
Yes,
I just don't, it's not that I couldn't do it. I just don't want to do it.
And we're going to talk more about that, Aaron, and some upcoming episodes during this business series, because that is a key thing. You have to be able to hire the right people. Are there going to be some mistakes made in the process? There may be, but they're learning mistakes. There are things that you're going to learn from. And you may have somebody who really is really loving your dream and want to help you in the process, but you have them in accounting when they're better in marketing. So you may start off with them in one position, but before you actually fire and let them go, find out what other position they may fit in, because you just may have them in the wrong position. But we're going to talk a lot about that as well during this series when we talk about when is it time to hire someone. But more of these advantages of owning your own businesses. One of the other advantages of owning your own business is you own your time.
Yes.
And that's a key part to a lot of people who want to own their own business. They want to own their own time. And like Pastor Grant said, there's a lot of people now that are doing delivery services for people, that are picking up people, taking them this place, that place. There's a lot of people right now with a lot of things that they're doing that they own their own time, but they work for other corporations like DoorDashers and like Lyft drivers and stuff like that. They are considered staff. I don't know if they're considered employees or not, but they get to choose what times and what days they work, and they can take off when they feel like it. So in an instance, that's a form of kind of owning, your own time. And you're starting your own little, thought process of business. So a part of that, the advantage is owning your own time as well. I want you all to also understand this. You get your money. Now, if you're the only person that's in your business right now, you haven't hired employees yet, right? You would think you get 100% of your money. You don't get 100% because you got to pay. But you do get a larger percentage of your money than if you were an employee.
Yes.
Okay, you do get a larger percentage. So that money thing is another thing as well. We're going to teach you about that aspect too. Yes, Pastor Grant.
I was just going to say, and we will talk about this later, but also about taxes. A lot of people who are self-employed or entrepreneurs are not as due diligent in that area. And so at the end of the year, they may have some opportunities there. But if you start off with that clarity in mind, that certain portions of just what Regina just said, certain portions of what you make don't belong to you. You have to be ready to ensure you are financially sound, financially ready to, when you do get funds in, that you're attributing what is necessary to your tax. I see a lot of people that struggle in that area because, like you said, they think everything is yours. No, everything is not yours.
And we're going to talk about that part too, because a lot of people get in business and they're really good. Like we talk about the creativity part. They're really good at this thing. They may do things with their hand, woodworking or whatever, or create things and sell them online. That's the start of their business. However, they're really good at that, but they're not good at bookkeeping, record keeping, making sure that things are paid, the accounting aspect of it. So we're going to talk about why that's important to have somebody to take care of the money side of it. But be sure to have somebody that you can trust. Now, there are great accounting softwares out here that even the people who have no real knowledge of it can really do work as though they had real knowledge, because these softwares are really good.
They're very good.
On track as well.
And you just talked about one of the other good advantages is the opportunity to innovate. Sometimes we are operating in lanes that are very static. We do what we do, and we do the same thing every day. And you are more of a creative person.
Yes.
So maybe that entrepreneurship or starting a business, that advantage is for you to operate and allow that side of you to excel. Sometimes that needs to be allowed to be a visionary, innovate in that space. And so this is an opportunity to do so when you start your business. Now is your time to be creative and your time to innovate. And whether that is, creating from a more innovation of a robotic or technology or a chemistry. I mean, people decide to go into all types of businesses.
Right.
And so a lot of times it's a self-evaluation, it's a self-assessment of where do you feel your purpose aligns. Another advantage is some of us have an opportunity to impact our community. Maybe the business that God is leading you to is going to lead you to operate in our community. One of the businesses we started this year was always on our plan was our STEM enrichment program. And so it is an investment in our youth and in our community, because one of my goals is to make an impact in the earth. And so maybe that is what you're trying to do as well. And you can do that as a small business. There's a lot of grants and funding. We're going to talk about that in the later portion. But think about it. Maybe that thrust in business for you is in a community impact lane.
Yes.
Right.
That's great too. That is wonderful that you brought that up, because there are a lot of communities that are waiting for people just like you to bring a business into that community that will help that community to strive and do better. Great point, Pastor Grant. I love that.
Think about it, how we started as small community stores, right? The stores that came for African Americans was because we couldn't go to a lot of the other ones. And so those smaller mom and pop, more mainstream entrepreneurship came out of a need. The people needed that service, and so we provided it. So think about that too as you pursue and evaluate where that might be for you. What is happening in your community that you see as a need? What is not being done, especially if you have a passion for something? How can you now turn that passion into an entrepreneurship opportunity? And then it would be something that others would align to. Again, we're going to talk about grants and financing later. But there are a lot of things where funding is available now to support, especially if it is advancing our community. And there's certain demographics of the community where there's certainly an outpour of funding to help support you in that manner. And we'll talk about that as well. So another is now you get an opportunity to go after your purpose and something you have passion to do that can impact our community. The next one is the independence you have, right? So there is a form of independence when you own your own business. I do tell people that it's very important that you realize now you have to have a lot of self-initiative, because there are some people, if they didn't have that 9 to 5 clock and people telling them you have to be there, they wouldn't get anything done. And so as an entrepreneur, nobody's going to be ringing your bell every morning. Oh my goodness. Nobody's going to be telling you, get up. You have somewhere to be. Maybe your lifestyle going to demand you. It will be telling you every day, listen, you got things you have to take care of. You better get up. But in most aspects, you have that independence, but you have to do so with management. You have to have a lot of self-discipline.
You do.
You want to start, and you have to make sure that you are pacing and balancing out your life, right? Because you want a life well spent. While you do want to do entrepreneurship where you may have a lot of irons in the fire, you don't want to leave what is most important to you on the table. You don't want to leave it unnourished. I always tell myself, especially like you, Regina, got a lot of irons in the fire: ministry, school, work, children, husband, school, just so many things that's happening. But I have to make sure that I give everything its appropriate nourishment, and I also prioritize it, right? You must prioritize it in the right order, so that the most important things that you have to do, you do it, only you can do it, then you do it. And other things you enable others and delegate to do because they have the skill sets to do so. So definitely there's a huge sense of independence.
That's right. And I love it. And hey, Succeeding too. Thank you for being here. She got wonderful comments in here. Over here, she put this recent comment. I'm sorry, this is Joseph. Let me go up to Succeeding too. She says, I worked on staff at a church and our youth pastor ran his ministry like a business. He had movers and shakers that had great context. Come on now. It is still a business, right? And Joseph said this. He says, you have to govern yourself. And from that governance, you have to then govern your business.
Yes.
And understand, everybody, that this is your business. It is tough sometimes to get some of these businesses started. So what you're going to have to understand is you also are probably going to have a mindset. Change your mindset, because arguing, bickering, fussing, and fighting, you don't want those in your business. Now, so if that was a part of your life, remember you are a business owner now. Change the mindset. Renew the mindset. Yes.
That's okay. If you want to grow it, you want to grow your business, you have to think from a different lens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have that flexibility to just decide I'm not going to do anything. It's your business. And I always say that too, when I'm operating, even in somebody's organization, I'm responsible. I want to show up well.
Yes.
And whatever I do, because my name is on it. And so we want to encourage you that even when you start your business, your name is on it. And it should mean something, right? You should operate from a posture of excellence. I want, when they think of my business, oh my goodness, I want them to think of something excellent. I want them to think of it well. I want them to think, when you go in there, you know you've been to someone who is taking care and taking time to execute or to perform or to provide a facility. Sometimes, some people just provide a facility. There is event space now, and it is huge. Right. And they're not doing anything. They have the building. They have the building set up nice. They have the tables and chairs. And they said, listen, make it your own.
There you go.
So what they've done is they provided a nice complement for you to now have your event. And so whatever you do, whether you are cooking, I always had old saints tell us that, whether you're cooking, whether you're serving, whether you're giving, whatever you do it with the best intent. Do it to your best capability. And then again, where you have deficiencies or areas that you need strengthening in, get the right people to help you. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I always say fail forward. Fail forward.
Oh, that's a good one.
Fail forward. Don't go back. No,
that's
okay,
right.
I'm learning from that. And so what I did, what I thought was going to work out well, didn't work out well. So this time when I execute this, I'm going to do it this way. Here's what I learned. And there's a pattern of memory muscle. This is a good thing about recovery. Fail forward. You can recover. And so what happens is you get memory muscle. So now you know how to, when something happens, you can get out of it real quick. Your first mistake, it might take you a minute. It might, it might be a hit below the belt. It might be, oh my goodness, I didn't know it was going to turn out like that. And so it might take you a moment to recover, but fail forward. Get back up. Do it again and do it better. Enable yourself better. And so over time, now when things happen, that's nothing. Honey,
right. Right. Listen, let me tell you, I'm loving the conversation, and I want you all to understand we're having this first one, the advantages of owning your own business. There are several advantages to owning your own business, but you also have to understand when you start a business and it starts just with you're your only employee, or you're 1099 or whichever form you do. We're going to talk to you about that too. 1099, W-2. We're going to talk to you about those things as well. But when you're your first employee and you're going out and you're trying to get your business started, remember, when you're going to establishment or you're looking for customers to contribute to your business, you are the first reflection of your business that they see. You are the first reflection. So though you may come in there and say, hey, I'm from Costa Maya Industries. This is what we do. They're not going to see that. They're going to see you first.
Yeah.
So you want to be the best reflection of your business, so that they would not only remember your business name, but they'll remember you as well. And then what you also want to do is you want to make sure that when you begin the hiring process, that your employees are also a reflection of you. We're going to talk about all that as well. But you have to be the example. So don't get mad, you guys. If you start a business, then your employees start acting one way and you say, where'd they get that from? They probably got it from you, because you were not remembering that you need to be the best example of you for your business.
That and your alignment, that is so key. That is an
Yes.
advantage that now you have the opportunity to set the stage. You
That's
now
right.
have the opportunity to set the pace. You now have the opportunity to set the performance level, right? And that's part of what you do in all of my capacities. I'm comfortable letting people know, listen, that may have been what worked well there. Here's our standard here. Here's what you look at when you're trying to evaluate how to do things, because there are some unwritten rules of culture, right?
Right.
While we might have policies, while you might have instructions, there's some communications rules of engagement that you have to let people know verbally as well as visually. So you watch them perform. That's why a lot of times when people join, they say, this is the person you shadow. Why? Because I want you to do it the way they do it.
They did them right, and I want you to model that.
Yes, model that behavior. And so that's very key. So another advantage too of owning your own business is lifestyle advantages, right? You get an opportunity to change your lifestyle, change your influence, change your partners, change the people you communicate with, change your audience. I was just ministering on yesterday, and I said, if you want to know where you're going, look at the people around you, because they are the indication of where you're going. You are influenced by the top 5 people in your sphere. And so whoever you communicate with, you will start to attribute some of their characteristics and traits. And so it's important that now you get an opportunity to change your lifestyle. Now you're going to be talking with other business owners, other CEOs, other entrepreneurs, people who do what you do, whatever that new venture is, the people who are specialized in that.
Yes.
And so you get a lifestyle change. You start to operate in new lanes, in other avenues that you haven't done before because you were in a different segmentation of work. CEOs talk to CEOs, managers talk to managers. And so now you get to change your lifestyle in that perspective for the business. And now you get to have the opportunity to influence others as an owner, right? One of the things I had always said, even when I was managing, I said, when I become a manager, I want to be the manager I always wish I had.
Wow.
I didn't always have good managers, right? I'm fortunate that I had a lot of good ones, but not always.
Right.
And so I've always learned whatever I felt should have been different, let that be me when I get the opportunity. So now some of you, as you're going into entrepreneurship, as you're going into managing others and influence others' lives, be your best self. Be that manager that you didn't always have when it was somebody else's turn to manage you. Now you are the owner and the CEO, and now you have the opportunity to influence others in the best way. And so that is
and they even have classes for stuff like that. They have classes, they have online programs where you can learn to be the best manager. My son is a business owner down in Florida, and he is a wonderful business owner. And he started at the age of 22, owned his own corporation. And he started because the company he was working for is a marketing company. They saw in him the potential of great leadership.
Yes.
And so they offered and gifted him a franchise in the business.
Wonderful.
And let me tell you, it was a blessing to God. Thank you to God for blessing. He took that and he was like, Mom, I want to be the best role model for my employees. So he started getting literature to learn, how can I be the best manager? How can I diffuse situations in corporate America? All this stuff he started learning. He started getting all his tools together because he wanted to be the best owner, but not only the best owner, the best manager that he could be. And he's still till today, and he's now 26. He still till today has that corporation going strong, has over about 40 something employees, and he is still getting literature today to teach him great leadership. I want to say this also. Joseph had this comment. He says, I've been in situations where everyone in the business deal was emotional and erratic. One time, a $9,000 profit could have been $1,300, just like that. Be diplomatic. Have a trusted team. It matters. And I want to say this one thing, and I'm going to turn it back over to Pastor Grant. Another great advantage, people, to owning your own business is you could help your families.
Yes.
A son or daughter always wants to help their parents get out of a tough situation. And one of the ways that a lot of people have done this is they have created businesses and helped their family members get out of those tough situations. We're going to talk about, should you hire family members for your business. We're going to talk about that in an upcoming episode because that needs to be discussed because there's a lot of that happens.
Yes.
And it works good and then it works bad also.
Yeah,
so
you have to know the skill set, right? And we talked about that already.
Yeah.
And this business. This is business. So while family is certainly, I know for me, one of the things that pushed me into certain business areas is I always had the intent that it would operate as a family-owned business.
Yes.
And I knew I had the right skill sets and the right maturity. That's another very important thing, to be able to align certain people to certain roles.
Come on now.
It's very true that when you open up a business, it is a great advantage to be able to, one, financially be able to support your family in a different level, and then two, to be able to provide a source of income, a source of employment for your family, which is great. But you do have to be very intentional in that, because I've always told them before, I've leased homes to family, and I said, listen, I'm leasing this house, but I'm not paying your rent.
Hey,
so I am a leaseor. And so when you get to the point, just like all my other leases, that you're having difficulty, then let's come up with your new plan for transition. So you have to be very clear on that, even when people work for you. And again, I've been fortunate to people that have wanted to work and that are family members. They had the skill set to do it, and they've done a fabulous job. So it hasn't been an issue, but you do have to be very mindful of that. We see that a lot of times with people who have a good lucrative business or go into something where big money is coming in, and they do have people who don't have the right skill sets or integrity, right? Integrity, and so money is mismanaged or mishandled. And so that's very key. Make sure that we evaluate that. We'll talk about that more in the future.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
But one of the other advantages we've talked about a little bit already is the learning opportunity. Now you have a huge opportunity to learn, huge opportunity to grow as a source of reference for your particular area or industry or field. Now you might become a subject matter expert in that. You might be a person that you are fluent in certain levels of information. Maybe you can be a consultant. Maybe you can consult in certain levels of and articulate certain communications. Maybe you're a facilitator, maybe you're a coach, maybe you're an administrator. So there are so many lanes that you can actually operate in.
Absolutely.
And it gives you that opportunity to learn, and then share that information with others. Not just be the pot boiling on the stove, but somebody who's pouring tea. You want to take that and make it a nourishment for somebody else, so that they can grow from your experience, grow from all the knowledge that you've gained and gleaned. Planting seeds. I just believe in that we're planting seeds in the earth. And then, as the scripture says, one man plant, one man water, but God can increase. And so from that, you can change. I love what he says. You can pursue things for improvement at all levels. That's the true leadership. A leader is always looking for opportunity to grow. I'm always looking for others that I can learn from, so that I am better, right? People can only, I love the saying that Dr. Walker says, you understand what you sit under.
Wow.
And so when people sit under a certain level, they can only go to that degree. And so it's very important, if you're leading others, that you continue to grow up and to grow and to develop, so that the people who are under you grow up too.
Right.
They're listening to you, they're modeling you, they see you. And so the more that you grow, the more opportunity they have now for exposure.
Right.
So
I love that.
Key. Yeah. So
Joseph said this. He said, my advice to all new business owners when they're considering hiring someone is this: don't hire someone you can't fire without hesitation or regret. Work with families based on your relational makeup.
Yes. And that's true. I agree with you. There's some decisions I made, and I said, no, we can't do that, because we're family. We're family
or friends.
That doesn't go well. It causes tension in the family. I totally agree with him. I agree with that when it relates to money. I agree with that when it relates to a whole lot of other things that we might do. If you can't cut it off like you would anybody else, then that's not a good posture to put yourself in. You don't want to do anything that could hinder the relationship, because the relationship is more important, right? So thank you, Joseph. That is a very good comment. The last item I had as a advantage is creative freedom and personal satisfaction. Maybe this has been your lifetime dream. Maybe this is what you have been asking and praying God for. Do it. Listen, I heard a study about people who worked when people are transitioning, and they worked in hospice. And when they asked people, what was on your mind, they only talked about the things they didn't do. They never talked about the things they did and it failed. And so you want to have no regrets, right? You want to at least say, I tried it and I know what it feels like. I tried it. And so now I can check that off my list. And so this is an opportunity for you to fulfill a personal goal that you had, a lifetime dream. And so what we encourage you to do, and we're going to be enabling you as we go throughout the rest of the month of July, is to make sure you plan, right? A lot of things we're going to be talking about is giving you wisdom so you can do considerations. I always tell people, listen, you're grown, you can choose what you want to do, but consider this.
Oh, I love that.
Here's what I've learned. Consider this.
I love that.
Here's what I've been through. Consider this. Maybe you want to take thought on this. This might help you as you go along. You can choose to, thrust on in it and do it that way. But there's a lot of learning. You're going to learn that way.
I love how you said that too. Consider this. Those are words that are nice and soft and people can take in, rather than saying, well, I think you should be doing this.
Yeah.
I think that's beautifully said. Consider this. Someone who's out, doing this, or whatever, and you're like, I really wish they would do this. Instead of coming to them and saying, I wish you would do this, or I wish, you should listen to me. And consider this. Yeah. How about doing this? I love how you said that. I love that. It's so key. And I want people, if you're somebody out here and you're saying, listen, I do want to be a business owner. I just don't know what I want to do. I have no idea what I can do. I have no idea what I'm capable. I have no idea what I enjoy doing. I want you to consider this as you go out during your day, even if you're watching a television show or watching something online or just out, in this, walking in, a store or wherever you are, walking in your neighborhood. You may observe something. And sometimes that's how God gives us cues and clues as to what we probably should have a passion for. You might be out walking your neighborhood, for instance, thank you, Holy Spirit, and you see somebody's lawn is not done, and you see that person is maybe an elderly person, and you may consider, I could take care of the lawn for them. I could do that. You just came up with a business idea. You could take care of all the lawns in the neighborhood. Or you may be out there and you may say, well, you see a senior citizen that is needing to go somewhere, has no transportation. You've got a vehicle. You may now become, the next driver person for them, delivery person, whatever it is. Go out as your day and take a look around you, look at your surroundings and see, and you may come up with a business idea that could be a creative idea for you to start your new business. There's so much that's out there. We only hit on the little stuff. Some of y'all think, some of y'all are very, very tech savvy.
Yes.
And let me tell you, technology is key now. You know how many people are out here on these internets and waves and don't know how to operate some of this stuff? Come on now. You need to get your phone number out there to them. That's another business we can start. Technology is one of the largest things right now. And a lot of us, my age, we like, where's the tech person? Where is the tech person? I need a tech person. Right. That may be one of your strong suits. And you could really be starting off with your business with that as well. There's so many advantages, so many things that you could do, so many creative things. And some of you may think, well, everything's been thought of already. It hasn't.
Right. Oh my goodness. It's so many things that come up every day. And we talk about how we have the next evolution. So while somebody might have started it in one way, what can you do that differentiates you from them? And so that's how you have multiple different types of a similar thing, but very different. We talked about very basic hamburgers. There are a lot of different hamburger places, but they are so different. Yeah, so you can be that one unique innovator that opens the door for you. Think about it. Before COVID, how masks and the handmade masks became massive.
People ate that up with
top of that. You don't know what stream or what opportunity God is going to lead you into. And so what we're saying today is think again.
I'm telling you.
Now's the time to dust it off. Now's the time to get up and say, okay, now I got some people who are thrusting me, who are going to support me, encourage me. Join us on Money Mondays, and then go back and watch it again, because I know there's some things that we've said today that inspire you, that touched your mind, touched your heart, and encouraging you to do something different, right? Or even better, maybe you're already in your business. And so we're going to help you encourage you through our own experience and the words of others that we have learned, right? So that you can be enabled to do it at your best.
I'm telling you. And I want to speak to some of you young folks out there that are saying you're having a hard time finding a job, but maybe you do have your transportation, you own a vehicle, or maybe you can borrow your parents' cars. You may want to get a little flyer drawn up and go around to your neighborhood and say, listen, I can go pick up these items for you or pick up this for you, because the delivery services that are out there now, Amazon, Fresh Market, all these other places, they deliver, but sometimes they're a 4-hour window or a 2-day window or something like that. And there may be somebody in your neighborhood like me that would be like, I can't get up from this desk, but I really need to run and get this. You know, can you go and get this for me? You know, you go and get it within an hour and come back. I will pay you happily, you know, and there may be others in your neighborhood that may need that. There may be people that need you to pick up medicines for them. A mother that can't get out there and she can't wait the 4 or 5 hours. You know, she's got a sick kid or whatever the thing is. There are so many opportunities out there. So don't think that because other businesses are doing it bigger, that yours is not needed. You could take over your whole neighborhood and be the delivery person for your whole entire neighborhood and make great money while doing it. I want to get these last 2 comments from Joseph, and then we'll be letting you guys know we'll be coming up next week with some more stuff. Joseph said, sometime your business is in a partnership of talents and you just won't be open to conversing. The answer is already there. You can do it. Yes, Joseph. Yes. And he also says, ooh, I heard the preach come out. Think again. That's Pastor Grant. Don't you get me stirred up. I'm supposed to be multitasking over here.
All right, Joseph.
Think again.
Think again. Yeah, it's so true, because
I love it.
A lot of times it's in us, right?
Yes.
We've given these visions and dreams, and it's for us to execute. There's something in you. There's a talent in you that somebody else needs. And while you might be executing it on your job, that's wonderful. But if you're being called and drawn to do it at another level, then go for it. Go for it.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Aaron, for reminding everybody that tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our reality chat right here on the Juice Radio and Talk Show. Thank you so very much for Aaron and for thanking everyone for coming today. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Remember, we do these Money Mondays every Monday at noon time, Eastern Standard Time. Listen, we want to encourage you. This series that we're doing right now about businesses, owning a business, starting a business, we're going to give you all the tips and tools that we have available. And if you know of some that you want to share with us so that we can share with the viewers, send it to us, you guys, because we're all in this together. This is teamwork. This is teamwork right here. But we want you to continue to join us. Make sure that you share this video, like, subscribe, and share, and let others know about this. They may want to start their business also, and we want them to have this valuable information as well. I want to thank Pastor Grant for being here today. Thank you so very much, Pastor Grant. You all can follow Pastor Grant on her social media page at My Father's House Pentecostal Church. Make sure that you go over there and you all subscribe today at her Facebook page, My Father's House Pentecostal Church. They're doing great works over there in Riverdale, Georgia. Y'all check them out. All right. Check them out. Subscribe, like, and follow that channel as well. Pastor Grant, thank you so very much. I appreciate you so much. Your talent is so refreshing. And thank you for taking your valuable time and sharing it with us. You don't have to do it, but you do. And let me tell you, I pray that the Father will honor and gift you the greatest gifts for what you're doing here on this platform and for all the viewers. Thank you again so very much. I don't take it for granted. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, you guys.
Everyone, have a good day. Thank you, and be blessed on today.
Absolutely. Y'all have a wonderful day. We're out of here on the count of 3. Pastor Grant, let's tell them goodbye until next week. 1, 2, 3. Bye, y'all.
Peace and blessings. Bye, y'all.
A heartfelt thank you to all of our subscribers who joined us for this video. If you have not already subscribed, go to our YouTube channel, The Juice Radio and Talk Show. Subscribe and click on the notification bell to be alerted whenever we go live. Join our private Juice community. Go to www.thejuicecommunity.com and sign up for free. Join us, The Juice Radio and Talk Show. We have our Money Monday financial series. It is a lunch and learn program at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time on Mondays. Also on Mondays, Sunday, we have our reality series and hot topics at 7 p.m. Wednesdays, we have Bible study at 7:30 p.m. Thursdays, we have church news at 7:30 p.m. We also offer motivational moments, happy marriage lifestyle, news from a godly perspective, movie reviews, as well as our Single Moms Club, Let's Talk Ex-Millennials, and of course, our Cooking with Clovis. Follow us on our podcast channel, the Juice Radio and Talk Show Podcast, streaming on all podcast platforms. A great big thank you to our podcast production company, Noye Podcast Productions. They can help you create your own podcast also. Contact them today at houseofnoye.com. Thank you to our sponsor, Custom Apparel Shop. Have them complete your embroidery work and silk screening needs. Do you need a logo created for your fashion apparel or company? Contact Israel Mason today. That is 786-657-7501. Thank you to our main sponsor, Truth and Triumph Ministries. Truth and Triumph Ministries, a ministry that cares about telling people the truth so they can triumph in life. Thank you, Truth and Triumph Ministries, for all you do.